Hey you guys, this is me, Totally Maddie. How are you today? I am so glad you chose this video. I want to teach you how to make Harinita de Maiz. Harinita de Maiz is a hot cooked breakfast. It's made with corn, with ground corn. And this is a recipe that brings a lot of memories of my grandmother. My grandmother used to get up really in the morning and make this for us in the morning sometimes. And it was delicious. We will all run together because it's so good. And the butter makes a totally huge difference. This is my version that I added a little bit of extra little spice in it, like no spicy, just a spice. I like to put ground cloves on mine, so it's like delicious. But I do wanted to share with you this recipe because it's wonderful. You can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch. Sometimes I even eat it for dinner. This recipe will serve one portion of it, so you might want to like double if you're making it for a couple of people. It is so good. You're gonna love it. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you like these recipes. Give me a thumbs up. Go to the bell and press it so you know when I'm posting new videos. And I hope you enjoy it because it is so good, you guys. It's gonna bring so many wonderful memories. So let's get started because it is so good. It is so easy. It's so delicious and you're gonna love it. Have a great day and enjoy this recipe. You see that I have no heat at all, and we have the saucepan, and to that we're gonna add, I have there half cup of regular milk. You can use whatever milk you want, and then I like to put the other half with evaporated milk. Now you can either choose to do this, just use all milk, or use all evaporated milk, doesn't really matter. Put that to a cool pan. Then to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can either do 1 tablespoon of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, whatever you like. If you like it a little sweeter, you can add more sugar. That's totally okay. You can see I put a little bit more. Then to that, we are going to add our salt. It's just a little pinch of salt. That's all that we have there, just a little pinch. It makes it really nice that have that difference of sweetness. Still, there's no heat on the pan, and we want to stir that so in that way all the sugar starts dissolving, and you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear the sugar no longer scraping on your pan, but again, there's no heat whatsoever on this pan. It's all turned off still. We're just working on a cool pan. To these, I like to add a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of fresh ground cloves. Just make sure that you keep some for garnish at the very top. So the cloves and the cinnamon. And keep stirring still. Your pan is still cool. Still stir. To these we're going to add a little bit of vanilla. I love to use Mexican vanilla, but whatever vanilla you have is perfect. I just like the flavor that it brings. It kind of wakes up all those smells as well. So we're gonna stir that a little bit more. We're making sure that all those ingredients are incorporated and that the sugar and the salt is dissolving. Once that happens, we are going to we're gonna add as much as butter that you would like. I like to put maybe less of 1 teaspoon on that, and now we're gonna turn on the heat because our ingredients have already dissolved. Our sugar has dissolved, our salt has dissolved, we have incorporated ingredients. And now we're gonna melt the butter before we add our cornmeal. We need to melt that butter and start heating up the milk as well. Once the butter is melted and all the ingredients have dissolved in the liquid, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of cornmeal. And you're gonna add that slowly so that way you don't get any clumps. So make sure that you keep mixing at this point, because you don't want to burn your ingredients on the pan. So you're going to keep stirring until you get a thicker consistency, and I will show you in a second what that looks like. But just keep stirring, and you can see that it's getting thicker at this point. And you will notice that it's getting a thicker consistency, and that you can start separating both. You will see it in a second. I will show it to you. It gets thicker as you continue, and I have it like in a medium high setting at this point. Now I'm turning it off because it will continue cooking. At this point it's very hot, as you can tell. Some of the steam came out, and you see how I separate it. You see how it separates from the bottom of the pan a little bit. When I put the spoon through, it kind of stays separated. That's when you know that it's ready. You see that? That's when you know that it's completely ready. At this point, you no longer want heat. I just mostly stir it to cool it off a little, really. So at this point I'm gonna serve it, and I just serve it on a regular, but the presentation is so pretty. Like, this is the way that my grandma used to do it, and she was fantastic to get that in the morning. Look at that. It's just so wonderful and so fulfilling. So we put that in there, and make sure you leave some on the pan, because you're gonna go back later and eat that. It's so amazing. At the very end, you get to eat it from the pan. So at this point, we have our cream, and then I like to put a little bit of butter at the top. Just that butter just melts at the very top, and it makes it like a really nice coating of butter at the top. My butter didn't want to come out, sorry. And then I put the rest of that cinnamon, and I sprinkle on the top just a little bit to give it a little more flavor and to make it just pretty. And then I like to use just regular milk, and put some on the very top. That helps cooling it. Plus, it's also just looks so pretty. I spill a little bit, sorry. And look how pretty that looks. That looks amazing. Just the way our abuelas, or my abuela, used to make it. Thank you.